All right, family. Howling at the mic family, Timberwolves talk family, whatever we are. I think we
Asshole
I think we
Nation.
decided I think we decided we were still Timberwolves talk. So I'll welcome back to the Timberwolves Talk podcast. You probably weren't expecting us, but no, we made good on our promise that we were gonna get a podcast done before the next play-in game. And look at us getting it done one day after the final game of the season, the tumultuous 82nd game that we will get into, and then previewing a little bit of the playing game against the Lakers tomorrow that we will be streaming, by the way.
We will be streaming that. That's a big reason why we want to do this is we want to get you guys the knowledge that we will be streaming so you guys can come join us. But Chris, the Wolves finally making national media, national news, Sports Center, JJ Redick, Pat McAfee show I saw talked about us. And it always seems right around this part of the season, right around like the play-in type, the Wolves are always catching slack for being immature. Um, Everyone's just bamboozled. What did Stephen A. Smith say? Pure idiocy.
Yeah, yeah. I think I saw every single thing. Like Jalen Rose, I know went in pretty hard. Like he said, we absolutely just like effed ourselves. The Lakers are gonna like wash us now. I think is what he said. It was something else, but yeah, we always seem to make the wrong news for. We
The
always seem
right
to make the
reasons.
news for all the right. Well, I
Well, no, I guess it's rightful. It's rightfully so. We're making the news for these horrible
for all
reasons.
the wrong reasons. Exactly. Like
Like we deserve it.
if you hear about the main TV channels talking about the Timberwolves, something happened because like this team, I think from the start this year has been a little bit discombobulated. I think is the right word. Even with Cat going down and him coming back, now the team still doesn't look right. And I think everything kind of boiled over in yesterday's win against
In the
the New
win.
Orleans Pelicans. And I don't think that's been talked enough about. If we if we didn't win that game, we would be the ninth seed, right? We would have had to win two games. So it was like such a massive win yesterday, I think is one way to like something to take out of this situation that's good because now we have two bullets in the chamber now. We don't just have one. We only have to win one game. We're gonna have two shots at it, and I don't think it's impossible to get it done tomorrow against the Lakers.
Yeah, and even if we lose that game, I think that even if we play the Pelicans or the Thunder, those should be pretty easy win games for the Timber. I mean, even without Jaden McDaniels, like we should win. If we play them in an elimination game, I think we should beat them. But I guess one way to look at this is if we were looking at this from Anthony Edwards, from a bird's eye view of Anthony Edwards' career, that win yesterday was huge. That was like a signature win for him. And I think that the rest of the playoffs are going to be about Anthony Edwards and how much he can overcome. With everything falling apart on him, he was able to come through in the biggest moment of his career up to that point, I guess. And he came through. He started off really slow, and he was the reason we won that game. I know Cat was hitting big shots the whole time, but I think Anthony Edwards was the reason we won.
Yeah, the timeliness of like all
Dude,
his steals, the rebounds,
the
the putback
block.
shots, the
That
blocks.
was the most insane block. Did you ever see that highlight, Chris?
So I saw the highlight. I was coming back from Easter dinner and I was driving back, so I didn't get to like watch the end of the game on my phone, but I was listening to it and I like just heard like it was just such like intense
The-
you couldn't hear I couldn't see the screen, so I didn't know what the heck was going on. Like Anthony Edwards turned the ball over, but then Mike Conley steals it back. Anthony Edwards dunk. I'm like, what is going on right now? It was like a really fun ending and a really positive ending to a really, I think, destructive game. And I think the audience might be surprised. We talked about it a little before we got on, but I think the most destructive thing isn't getting talked about. I think the Rudy punch is getting more publicity and stuff, but like one of our three best players is out now for the playoffs. I think that's the most destructive thing by a mile, in my opinion.
yeah, and it doesn't. I guess at the end of the day, it does not matter how he broke his hand. Like
No.
I'm sure he knows he made a mistake. He knows that was the stupidest thing he could have done. He knows that. He's a competitor. He knows that. He knew like there's nothing that you can go back, but just the fact that he broke his hand. If he would have broke his hand defending someone falling down from a rebound, it doesn't matter. Our best defender by far is out now for the rest of the season.
Yeah,
And
it's a
that
massive blow.
like if we were going without Gobert tomorrow but we had McDaniels, I would not be worried at all. I'd say maybe we even had a better chance to win. Like maybe
Yeah,
with
I
that
agree
small
with that.
ball lineup, I think we'd have a better chance against the Lakers. But just the fact that Jaden is done now, like I think I don't know. I think we had a shot. Like I think we had a shot to surprise some people, maybe go beat the Grizzlies, do all that. But I don't know. I really am not as optimistic as I was before
No,
hearing that news.
I think I think two of the most impactful players are not going to be playing tomorrow, and that's why I think the Lakers are, supposed to be a favorite in this. Is like not having Naz Reid already just kills because Naz Reid is the guy. Like he is that dude. Like I hope he's back next season. He down the stretch here as he's been getting more minutes. I think later in the season, like every night, it's Naz Reid putting up 20 and 10s, 18 and 15. Like the dude is an animal. So not having him already is terrible. And then you compound that, taking away our best defender, two-way player, the guy who's going to guard LeBron. Like the chances are, I don't want to say almost none, but they got a whole lot slimmer. With Jane being out, and I guess with Rudy being out too. I mean, I am in favor of the 1 game suspension. First of all, I mean, you just can't like
You just
you
can't
just
do that,
can't
bro.
do that. You can't do that, and I think that completely messed up the chemistry. And that I mean that could have been brewing for a long time, but that's just stuff like that is season like almost season ending chemistry wise. I mean, we saw what happened with Butler. I mean, after Butler did his antics, he got traded, and you're
Yeah,
gonna do you
I
do the
just
same with Rudy? Like that's a whole nother conversation, but you'd be getting it maybe 20 cents on the dollar for that.
it seems like such a weird situation to be talking about because I always think that Cat is the biggest diva on the Timberwolves. Like he's always complaining. Like all the stories are usually about Cat. All the negative stories are usually about Cat
Yeah.
and or Anthony Edwards. But like this has not like they have completely like separated themselves from this situation. This has nothing to do with them. This is just like I don't know. It just feels so weird. Like this is a weird situation. It's such a weird situation.
I mean, like, yeah, like I just like I try to put myself in that team's shoes, and like you could see there that like this must have been like sort of a normal like occurrence, like this yelling between those two, because no one was really reacting in the huddle to two guys just screaming at each other. I think
Not
it's
even Finch. Finch didn't even look up.
no, it's well known now too, the D'Angelo stuff that got put out after he left. I think not a lot of people on this team like Rudy, and you kind of saw that too with a lot of the teammates going and
Yeah, yeah.
defending Kyle, Torian pushing Rudy. Like I hate to say it, man, but I just don't think the fit is there. I don't think the personality fits there, and it might be the same thing with Carl too. But like Carl, I think Carl gets a pass from Carl. Well, Carl does get a pass from this scenario. It's I, I don't know, man.
We sold our soul to the devil, man. We were building something amazing. It's J. Cole always talks about it. The slow grind. He says people never see the slow grind. People just expect to blow up fast, All these like rappers like Lil Peep or not Lil Peep. Lil Pump. Lil Pump blows up fast and then but there's nothing there. You never built it. You never took the time to build up to being successful. We tried to just take that leap. We tried to sell our soul. We sold the whole heart of our team. We sold Vando, we sold Pat Bev. Who else did we? Malik. We got rid of like some of the core emotional guys, and I don't know. Like I would love to see where we would be if we had the same team as last year.
and
Maybe traded D'Lo. Sure.
and that same team with Walker Kessler,
And Kai,
who's
we
gonna
could.
be a he's gonna be on the first team all rookie, and he Walker Kessler has been better defensively than Rudy Gobert, and has a way higher block percentage, which is what Rudy was brought in to do. And it's I me and you have been the biggest proponents of like give this thing time, and I really do want to see it play out through the playoffs here if they can make it. But like I don't know, man. I think this is going to go down as one of the worst trades ever because I do believe they're gonna like
We'll just wait to see what
this.
those draft picks turn into. That's because like already, like you look at it, Walker Kessler, Malik Beasley, Jared Vanderbilt, Patrick Beverly. Even that, like I don't
Yeah,
like the
I
way that
mean this team like we thought those picks were gonna be like 20 to 30. I one of these picks all the way up until 2029 is going to be a top 10 pick. Like I'm confident in that the Jazz are going to get a top 10 pick at some point. It's going to sting because like I I think it I don't mind like these massive trades but like you got to be 110% sure this person's going to be an on the court fit and a culture fit. I don't think Rudy's been either of those so far. Like I would have done this for KD. The KD trade is pretty comparable to like what we gave up. I mean, yeah, we gave up a few more picks, but the Suns had to part with McCall, who looks like a freaking stud too. Like he's averaging 28 now. But yeah, you do this for a KD type player. I just I don't know if Rudy was the one to do it for.
yeah, and I guess we're talking like it's already over. I also another way to look at it, I guess, is that this is what they needed. You know, like it's been brewing up silently the whole season, and they exploded. And now it's like, well, shit. Either you go the other way and you say you're done, Rudy. We don't need you. Fuck it. Like we blew it. Or you try to work on it and repair it. And I think from what the tweets are saying, from what I I don't know, like it should be repairable. Like
Yeah,
it's
I
tempers, man. Guys will be guys. Like he lost his temper. Same thing as Jaden.
yeah.
Literally the
Yeah,
same thing as
it's
Jaden, except for Jaden decided to punch a cement wall. I wish Jaden would have tried to punch Anthony Edwards or someone else.
well, I mean it's just like looking back, like we're exactly where we were. Well, no, we're actually a seed worse than where we were, last year. And I just it's such a like this is just like the ribbon on top of what was already just like such a wild season for the Minnesota
Bro,
Timberwolves.
if we end up losing Anthony Edwards, then I don't think I can be a Wolves fan anymore. I think I'm gonna I honestly like
Migrate.
because like that is the only thing keeping this together. That is the only reason why the Wolves are relevant. It's the only reason people love the Wolves still is Anthony. If it was just Cat, if it was just Cat, the Wolves would be shit. But Anthony Edwards, he's that guy still through all this
That's the
shit.
that's the thing, man. Like that is a true conversation that will come up. And I guess no one knows how he feels yet. He's a third year player, but I mean, he's gonna sign that contract. But like, what happens after he gets his money and signs his contract? Like, is it a scenario where like, hey man, this organization's been this dysfunctional for 30 plus years now? Like, is this where I need to be the greatest version of me? And I don't think the Timberwolves have done that well of a job right now, like
I mean, they're
doing that for
trying.
him.
They're trying. I
They
think
are.
they're
They
really
are.
trying to make him happy. Like trying to make these moves for him, but
But
just
like
horrible. Executed horribly.
last year was such a good base to like
Just build on.
build off of. And like you had that young, scrappy core group of players, and you knew that wasn't enough, but you could have got better in other avenues, like through the draft or just if we would have waited a year, this was a big discussion in the summer. If we would have waited a year, that D'Lo slot would have opened up, and we could have just went for someone in free agency and not had to, give up picks, and then we would have still had our core group of players. Could have re-signed Nas Reed for a decent price, not have to worry too much about the Jaden Ant contracts, how that's all going to fit in, and you could still sign a couple great mid-level players. And
Kyle
like
Anderson probably. We probably still would have got him, right?
yeah, yeah. I mean, we still would have got Kyle. I mean, Trey Jones is going to be, free agent here soon, and that guy's been awesome for the Spurs. He would have been a great point guard. Like, I don't know. I think it was just like it's like, what do you think Mark Laurie and
I
Alex
saw him.
Rodriguez are thinking,
I
man?
saw
Like,
Mark Laurie walked right by me at the Target Center last night. I was gonna say hi to him, but
that was
uh,
awesome when we saw him the one time. But
I
like,
I think that they just don't even know what to say. Like, what do you think, A-Rod? He was probably doing a MLB game last night or whatever. Just like, what does he say about it? Because like me and you, like we're fans, but like that's all. Like we have no
yeah,
economic
man,
ties
I
into
like
this. Like, what is
you
like?
you go out and you go like headhunting, like they're legit serious about like making this organization a freaking good one. So they go and double a supposed top five GM salary. He was making four in Denver and was very comfortable and loved it in Denver, and we're paying him almost 8 million now with shares of the organization. And he goes out and like he could have just stayed like we were just talking about. He could have just stayed pat, ran it back with Walker Kessler and maybe some more signings. See what happened. We would have been better. I guarantee we would have been better than the A seed if we would have done that. And you do this, and like I just there, like we were talking about, there has to be a contingency plan. And I think we're gonna see that already unfold after 1 year. I don't think there's any way they run this roster back again. Can they?
I don't think so, man. I don't know. Like I said, unless that was the boiling point, and then now it's all good. Like if that's what all they needed, like kind of a wake up call, which I could see that happening. Like I don't think Gobert's this horrible person. Like I think that some people can get along with him. Obviously, Mike Conley has played with him for all these years. He was willing to come here. He seems pretty happy here, playing with Rudy. Like at least he's got him on his side. I don't know. I don't. It's a tough
So
situation,
let me
man.
ask you this: does the playoffs like
Yeah,
can a
playoffs can cure everything.
can a first round win like
Yeah,
completely change the optics of the season, or is the regular season always going to be in the back of our heads?
regular season doesn't matter again. Like even when we went on that little win streak to end the season, like everyone forgot quickly how bad the season has been so far. The wins are the only thing that can cure it. If Anthony Edwards can come out here in the playoffs and just take over, go off, and beat the Lakers, which we'll talk about in a second, but I really don't think that it's out of the question. I mean, Anthony Edwards, he always needs something. He needs a little spark. He needs someone to wake him up. And I think primetime game in LA when everyone's saying they're gonna lose, he's gonna be locked in from the jump. This is the biggest game of his career by far. And I think he's gonna be locked in, as he always is. Um, so I think we got a chance against the Lakers. If we have a chance against the Lakers and then we go beat Memphis, not even win the series, but if we win 3 games, take them to game 7 or something, I think that it can be forgiven what happened this season, especially if
So
Gobert plays better.
yeah, I guess going through the scenarios here, like the worst possible scenario here is losing two straight, being out of the plan, being out
I
of the
don't see
playoffs.
that happening. There's no chance that happens.
Yeah, so that would be I think that's probably the slimmest. Like I don't think that will happen. If that happens, obvious blow it up. I
Blow it up.
think another scenario is you at least win a playing game, you get into a series and dysfunction overcomes everything. You like get swept in a 4 game series against the Grizzlies. What do you do there? Like what happens then if you maybe lose the Lakers but win the play-in against like OKC or something and then just go get screwed by the Nuggets. Like what happens then?
Well, honestly, I think the best situation would be if we lose to Lakers and then go end up playing the Nuggets. I honestly like because who does Jaden guard on the Nuggets?
Probably like Jamal, I bet. Or
Exactly.
MPJ. Yeah, one of those two.
So it's not like their superstar is a big. So I think that playing against the Nuggets in the first round would be the way where we would miss Jaden the least.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the
We always
Nuggets
play
and the
great against
Grizzlies
the Nuggets.
the Nuggets and the Grizzlies are two of the better scenarios that happened out of the, we should just be grateful, that the Suns didn't, win more games because KD they're 8-0 with KD. Did you know that? They haven't
Yeah,
lost a game yet when KD plays. So I mean, they're
yeah.
the best team in the West by far. And if we I think it's if we win, we're not on their side of the
Mm.
bracket. We're not on their side or the Clippers Warriors side. So I mean, like if you go out and like beat the Grizzlies in a series,
Did you get the
dude,
Kings?
and you get the Kings or something, like I, that
That's
like
why that's why I wish we had Jaden still because then you could say, wow, maybe this if that game yesterday would have just went if we would have just won it just normally, nothing else would have happened. Let's say this. So I was at the game yesterday and I was sitting very far away from the Timberwolves bench. If it weren't for Twitter, I would have had no idea that any of that happened.
yeah. I mean, stuff like that happens so fast. I think it's funny. Like some people asked, I tell them I was at that playing game and they asked me about the celebration after. I'm like, I had no clue they jumped up on the scores table
Exactly,
and ripped
bro.
their shirts off.
Exactly.
That was
That's
during
not.
a win, and like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's a timeout. It happened so quick. Like this isn't. I think the other thing is this is not the first time this has happened before. Like this happens at least a couple times a season. Someone else just got into a fight
Bones
yesterday.
Highland and Miles
Yeah,
Pullman.
like Jimmy Butler said he wanted to like fuck up Eric Spoelstra or something earlier in the season
Like,
too. Like,
I mean, let's just play devil's advocate here. Put yourself in Rudy Gobert's shoes. Did he choose to be traded for all that stuff to come here?
no,
He's kind of what I like to say, the D-Lo, the quiet superstar. Like he just likes to go in, get his blocks, get his rebounds, win defensive player of the year, and that's about it. Nothing else. You never hear him like he likes to get COVID and stuff, but that's really about it. He didn't choose to come here. And obviously he knows that this has been a huge failure and people are blaming him for this, but it's not his choice. You know what I'm saying? So obviously he's going to be very frustrated. And then especially when his teammates, who probably also are very frustrated that we gave up all these assets for him and he's not playing as well, are yelling at him. It just pressure, pressure, pressure. You either turn into a diamond or you break. You broke.
I think it's pretty like, yeah, it's widely known like this. Rudy's kind of an interesting guy, and like a lot of the guys on the team probably don't get like Mike Conley's probably his only ally in that locker room, which is, I mean, probably a tough thing. I just, yeah, like you gotta figure it out. Like that's all. At the end of the day, like yes, everyone's in this situation, but like you just gotta figure it out and win. Like
Just shut up and
I
win,
don't
bro.
just
That
shut
like
up and win.
that's all you have to do. And like
I just
if like cuz he's getting paid like he's had a down year, but he really has done everything that he was brought in to do.
Yeah, no,
Like
I think he's provided extra support defensively. I think the misfortune of losing Cat 50 games, I think, is what did this season. And I don't think it's like, yeah, I think players could have been better, coaches could have been better, but at the end of the day, I think losing Cat, I mean, took us out. Like, I think if we had Cat, we probably could have been a top 6 seed, but like what's the ceiling with that too is the other question. Like what's the ceiling with Cat on this team? I
I guess
there's so many questions that are going to get answered in the next however long the Timberwolves are in the playoffs. This determines what Tim Connolly and staff does this offseason. Like depending on how these playoffs go is going to depend on like how many of those faces are in the locker room, man. Cause like I have a weird feeling deep down one of Cat or Rudy is not going to be on this team next year. I don't know. I don't know which one. I don't know
damn
what's going to
if
happen,
we get
but
stuck with just Rudy, that might make more sense. That could end up making more sense if we build the roster around that. And just the Cat and Rudy next to each other.
I
I
mean
don't know.
maybe like that was I don't know. There's been reports too that like the Cat trade's imminent and like maybe like we've talked about this before too that like the trading Cat the following offseason maybe to reshape the roster a little bit because trading Rudy, like I said, it's 20 cents on the dollar, but trading Cat you're gonna get good value in an offseason. Like I just I think after wiping out the core of last year's team, which I thought was overall fairly positive, we were pretty happy with that team, even though how it ended. We thought we could have beat the Grizzlies in the series, but like I don't think anybody's happy with like
No,
every single face in the locker room this year.
yeah, we
I
had
don't
good
know.
vibes at the end of last year. It was positive. You're building something. Like we talked about this last episode, I think. Like when you so say you have the same season, but one season you have the same season back to back, like we just did. One season you're exceeding expectations, and the next season you're under expectations. Like they feel very different.
They do.
And
They
it's
do.
just
Especially as a fan, man.
it's shitty, bro. It's shitty. And it's just so tough with Ant because Ant is and dude, yesterday at the game, Ant did not play well to start. He had so many stupid turnovers. He took a lot of bad shots. Like he looked very immature out there.
He was tired, bro. I don't know what's been going on with his conditioning. He was so tired, he was trying to call timeouts on the court. Did you see that?
No.
I like what I don't know what that's about. He needs to get better with that next offseason. Okay. I think we've harped on this team, this regular season so far. Let's look ahead. Let's look to this Lakers game. 6.5 underdogs,
Really?
6.5 point underdogs. And I think it's kind of like I think it was just destiny for us to play the Lakers in the
Of
play-in.
course.
That's just we knew somehow I just knew that was going to happen. So I guess give me your take on tomorrow night's game. Like what are the keys to the W and what's going to happen? How is everything going to transpire after what just happened last night?
Well, I think there's two factors that I personally will be watching for that I think will really there's two main things I think. Number one is Anthony Edwards, of course. Is he going to come out swinging? Because if he scores 40 points, we're going to win the game. It doesn't matter what else happens. If he comes out and scores 40 points like he's done against the Lakers, like he's done in prime time, if he plays that playoff ant basketball, I think there's no way we lose the game because the Lakers, they have a lot of their weaknesses we know all about because we've had them on our teams. They got Malik Beasley, who if he's shooting cold from the night, they got D'Angelo Russell if he's cold, if Vanderbilt has to shoot a right-handed layup. These are all ways where the Wolves are going to be at the advantage because they know these guys. And I think another point is Anthony Davis. If he comes out playing like a superstar, playing like that top five player in the league, I don't know if we have much of a chance, especially without Gobert to help guard him.
Yeah, I
And
mean
he's
that was going to be my biggest one too is like what Anthony Davis are we getting tomorrow night? I
yeah,
mean, he will be the best player to play in the game tomorrow. It just depends on like what's he gonna do? Is he gonna be the attacking AD? Is he gonna be or is he gonna be the soft AD that Cat has gotten the best of the past couple years, which is kind of wild. I mean, you look at our Lakers, you look at our record versus the Lakers, our last loss to them, the last time we played them was our first loss in I think 4 games. I think we were 4-1 in the past 5 games we played them. So we can definitely beat this team. It's just I think the Lakers are kind of clicking right now. They're humming. D'Lo's actually a pretty good fit with them. I think the two players I'm really spotlighting for tomorrow are my man Kyle Anderson, who just survived a Rudy Gobert punch, and Torian Prince, because
he's
Torian's gonna be the guy that's in the starting lineup now. Like it's
and
gonna
he
be a
played great.
Conley Ant, and then the two wing guys are gonna have to make up for a lot right now. I mean, Torian and Kyle are usually your first two off the bench, which is a really good role for them. But now they're going to be in the starting lineup. How big does Kyle play? Is he big enough to body AD up? Because I don't know if you want to give Cat that assignment. I
Foul
think you
trouble,
put
bro.
Cat. I think you do the Vando defense with Cat, right? You put Cat on Vando and let him roam, and then Kyle's got to be the one
Yeah,
who guards AD. So
we know
it
all
it
about that, bro. We know all about Vando and his limitation. Yeah, yeah, that's a really good point. Like,
because you talk about you. There's a lot of talk about Rudy in the playoffs, but Ando did not have good playoffs, and I hate to say it because I love the guy, but he had a little bit of Rudy Gobert syndrome last playoffs, and like D'Lo had the big play-in game against the Clippers, yeah, but D'Lo in postseason play has been awful. So how is he going to respond to a big play-in game? I do think he's going to play well. That just seems like him and Malik just seem like they play better
Malik,
when they play us. So
I think so if you take all those guys from last year's team and put them all on a line, you got D'Lo, Ant, Malik, Vando, um out of all those guys, I think Anthony Edwards is like the most surefire to have a good game. So I'm happy he's on our side. You know, like
yeah,
I could definitely see D'Lo crumble.
yeah. I mean, it's going to be such an interesting game. Like this Lakers team is so much different than they were to start the season, and like I guess you look back at last year too, and I remember all the talk going into the playing game, how heavy of favorites the Clippers were. Like we could not beat them in the regular season. They just had our number. They small balled the shit out of us last year. And then we get into that playing game, we go down by 12 at one point. But like Anthony Edwards happened, and it was I don't know. I kind of see a little bit of that in this. I think we're gonna be heavy underdog. I mean, six and a
I
half in a postseason game is a pretty heavy dog. We're gonna be going into Staples or Crypto or whatever the hell it's called, and I think I don't know, man. Maybe we'll see another level to Anthony Edwards' game,
that's
which we've seen a lot this year. So I'm excited. I'm a lot of this year. It's been hard to be as attached as I was the previous year, but like I got the spark back, man. I'm so excited to watch them play tomorrow because like all this shit that happened this regular season, it's behind us now. We get to watch postseason Wolves basketball, and we haven't got to say that many times. So like
yeah.
I'm gonna enjoy it.
Yeah, bro. And like I would much rather be in this spot where we are the underdogs, we're the ones being counted out. It kind of puts us in the same shoes as we were last year. If we were coming into this game with everyone on our roster playing and we were like the favorites, I would have a bad feeling about it because you know what happens. But I'd much rather be the underdog because that's what we do. We're the underdogs, and yeah. I think this is Anthony Edwards' story, man. This is it, and this isn't just another chapter. Like this is literally the perfect storm. I swear every damn morning when I wake up, turn on SportsCenter, all they talk about is the Los Angeles Lakers and Lamar Jackson. But that's all they talk about, no matter what. So all they talk about is that. A big story now is Gobert. So like everyone is going to be watching this game.
Yeah, man,
Everyone.
it's gonna be cool. Like, there's only been one player in Timberwolves history that's been able to overcome a little bit of dysfunction. I mean, Kevin Garnett overcame like all the Stephon Marbury crap. Can Anthony Edwards overcome the Gobert punch? Kenny, will that be a
And the
storyline
Jaden.
that'll be talked about? Yeah, I mean,
Like this is it. Yeah, like when they make his documentary, which I always love to talk about, when they make that, like this is going to be a whole episode right here. This game even. This could be the passing of the baton. I hate to say it, but they always talk about the Kobe Jordan or the Jordan to Iverson or whatever, like when they pass the baton, like this could be it right here. This is the moment. If he knocks the king out of the playoffs and in his own home without his best defender and all that, like is Ant gonna guard LeBron?
I don't know. I think there's three possible players that like I think you look at either Torian, Ant, or Kyle. I like, yeah, man.
Because
It's gonna be like everything is so stacked against the Timberwolves, right? Like what happened yesterday. They're gonna be, playing a road game in LA versus LeBron and AD. The reffing is not going to be good. I'm letting you all know right now.
Cat
We are
might
not
foul
gonna get a
out.
favorable whistle. Everything is against this team for tomorrow's night game.
Like
I
this is
think
the purpose.
I still think we may have the best player on the court tomorrow, and I think that could make a
Really?
difference.
All right, all right. I don't know, man. Yeah, yeah, so we're planning on streaming it. I have class till 9, so it's gonna be I'm gonna set it up, go to
Cutting it
class,
close.
come back. I might leave class a little early, Might say I have a meeting or something, and then we're gonna log right on and start streaming. So
Yeah, I don't think it won't be as like produced as it was
no, it
maybe
might be.
last year.
Whoa,
Do we
whoa,
still
whoa,
have
whoa,
some of
whoa.
the do we still have some of the templates we did last year? Remember that?
Yeah, but they got all the like jaw on there and stuff. So I might have
Oh,
to remake them, but we'll see. We'll see how much time I spend on it. But we'll
it'll
be
be fun. That
streaming.
that was our last live stream, the one where
Oh, dude, we did one this year, I think.
did we?
Yeah, it was horrible. Or viewership wise, it was horrible.
I don't know, man. Everyone's trying to watch the game somehow. Maybe somebody can't see the game, clicks on a link, think we have the free stream.
We gotta
Come
bait them in, and then they
come
come
and
in. They
see
say,
us
"Oh,
goofballs doing it.
yeah, all right,
But we're
bro.
entertaining.
We try to be entertaining. We try.
It's
All
been
right.
good, man. I'm excited.
I think
I think tomorrow will be okay, everyone.
I hope we brought people through the whole roller coaster of emotions, and I hope that everyone is leaving this optimistic because that's where me and Chris we always have to fit into that spot in the Timberwolves media. Whatever role we have, it's always optimistic because you got to be.
Yep.
Why wouldn't you be optimistic?
Why would you be a fan if you're not optimistic, man?
Yeah, there's no
It's
fun in
gonna be
that. So
about.
I'm gonna throw on my Anthony Edwards jersey, wear it to class all day tomorrow. You know, pray, pray for a win. Chris, have a good rest of your night. Thank you guys for watching. This will be out soon.